Hello, and welcome back to the Chaos live stream. My name is Katie. This is Atelier Nekazuki, and I'm just bringing up the stream. Hi, Dahlia. How are you? I know you are a cat, aren't you? Okay, sweet. So we left off by having found a whole pile full of drawstring channels that hadn't been sewn yet, along with a whole pile of pockets that still need to be sewn. So what we're going to be working on is I'm going to wrap up on the drawstring channels, and then we need to actually do the top stitching on the last of the bags that we're hiding, and then we'll need to go in after we swap the white thread, and that's normally how she reacts to the sewing machine, but she did not react that way last time, so that's why it was weird. Anyway, drawstrings, top stitching, and then the last thing is the pockets for those bags. And then we can do assembly. So I don't know what's gonna happen tonight. We'll see how much I actually get done. Blah blah blah. We're in it. And of course, in the best laid plans of mice and mothers, I said I was going to be on at like 8, and instead I'm on at 9. We went for our walk like we were supposed to after dinner. And that was fine, except that the kids fell asleep on the walk, and then that means that they don't necessarily sleep once we get home. And it's particularly the youngest usually wakes up quite a bit. But they settled down decently well, but it meant that Dals didn't do bedtime, so I was doing bedtime as well. Hence why I'm later. Oh well, we'll make up for it tomorrow. At some point. Maybe. Okay. Next black bobbin is winding because we're probably going to need 1 or 2 more given how much we still have to top stitch. And then we'll swap back to white. And then we'll need to go back to black again when I go to top stitch these bags as well, around when they're finished. Yeah, so I think the goal for tonight will be to get everything assembled, like we've been doing already, and then the interior and exterior also like assembled and ready to go basically, because then all that shit I need to do tomorrow will be to smash them together basically, which means that in the morning I can, or first thing, I can go in and actually cut. What is going on? I can go in and cut. Holy, okay. It's not scrunchy time, it is drawstring time, thank you. Yeah, no, the bobbin is angry. This seems to happen every once in a while with the black thread. And I don't have this issue with white thread, but I think the dye in the black thread must just be a little bit like thicker. Although we haven't had this issue with white thread, and it is also thicker. Alright. Everything was going so well earlier until I found all those extra bags. Anyway, the goal will be to get the interior and exterior assembled so that we can basically just smash them together on tomorrow. Right. Okay, I was talking like that was what I was going to be doing tomorrow in my head for some reason. But no, tonight we need to assemble everything to be smashed together tomorrow. That's what we need to do. I need to do. The royal we. Alright. Yeah, but I'm snacked and ready to go, I think, maybe. I'm as ready as I will be. The walk was really good, so. Very necessary. And because the kids fell asleep, we actually had an opportunity to, like, talk, which was novel. I did not have my knitting, though. I was actually fairly sad. I was like, I don't even know where my knitting is right now. So I need to track that down, because in the vain hope that I'm done the drawstrings on these bags, it would be good to have my knitting with me. That's the crazy thing is, it's like you go to a knitting show and you barely get any knitting done. Because in the booth you shouldn't be knitting. And it's like, in the hotel room, I won't be able to knit because the kids will be climbing on me. And then on the drive up, I got work to do. And on the drive back, I'll be driving. So it's just like, alrighty then. I'll bring it in the hope that I get a couple spare minutes. Alright, we've got 5 more drawstring channels, and then we'll go in and do the things, the top stitching, and then we'll do the pockets. Well, do the top stitching and then we'll swap thread and then we'll do the pockets. And then we'll sew all the side seams and the bottom seams. And then maybe we're not getting, I was like, I totally need to get webbing straps done for this weekend. I'm not going to get webbing straps done for this weekend, which sucks, because, yeah, damn it. Maybe I'll do pre-orders for, well, shipping straps is quite expensive, because the hardware can't fit in the slot of doom, depending on how it, like, is turned. So, like, it's too bad there wasn't, like, smaller flat rate boxes or something, like, up to, is there? That's cheaper than, like, doing a package. CanadaPost.ca. Actually, let's just do Canada Post. Post flat rate boxes. I don't think they're cheaper than, I think the benefit to the flat rate box is the fact that, like, if you have something that is in between weights, it's not, it's less expensive in some ways. Okay, extra small. Oh, it's still $17, up to 5 kilos. Yeah, nope. So that's the same price as me doing a package from Shopify to ship a, yeah. Okay, well, I'll figure something out. I don't know. Alright, this is the last of the canvas top stitching. This is bag 10 out of 10. Or 1 of 10, 2 of 10. I love it when it's in tens, because that's like, then that means that that piece was 15% already. %. 5%. I do need to just, like, there we go. Foist it off onto the ironing table. If I can. %. And now I'm like still daydreaming about those like overnight oats that I used to make. I need to find the recipe again. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was like overnight vanilla oats or something like that. Overnight oats aren't difficult. It's just that I liked the proportions on the one that I found, so. Oh, maybe I wrote them down in our recipe book. That would have been smart. I think I did, actually. And then I also attributed it to like the website that I would find it on too. But yeah, I think I actually did write it down. Because that's the thing, is like so many of my recipes are online, and then sometimes it's so hard to find them again. I don't know why some are like harder to track down than others. Just like memory wise, like I remember that the feta chicken comes from Half Baked Harvest, no issue. But like the banana bread recipe that I really enjoy, which of the 6 dozen on all recipes is it? I didn't even think it was on all recipes, although the last time I made it from the all recipes recipe, and it was the one I was thinking. So I'm like, okay. That's another one that I should write down, actually. Make an archive of my own sort of thing. I really want to find like a cute recipe box and like recipe cards, but they're... I guess that might be an Etsy thing. But yeah, they're hard to track down in general. At least anything that's like not just a wooden box, I guess. That basically looks like you've... Yeah. Remy is in a very nice little cedar chest. But that is 100% what popped into my head when I said the nice little, like, their little wooden recipe card boxes is Remy's heavenly urn. My mother-in-law has one. It's like a bunch of older recipes, Jello mold recipes and everything. I said what we should do is we should like, because there's some legit good recipes in there, but a significant number of them are very questionable. So I'm like, we should do like an appetizer night challenge and like just pull a recipe at random, and then you have to make it for the appetizer night. Within reason, like you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of like Jello molds or something like that, but I think it would be a lot of fun. Could also be extremely disgusting. Who knows? Or not to, might not be disgusting. It may be disgusting for me. That was my visceral reaction to some of those recipe pictures. Someone else might really enjoy it. Who knows? No getting tired now. We got stuff to do. Things to make. last 3 bags, which means that there is currently 5 pieces left. If I find any more after this, we're done. This is it. And I think even at this point, anything that doesn't get its interior, exterior done tonight means that it's not going to piece. So basically we're just going to do luck of the draw. Whatever gets in, gets done. If I get them all done, we will attempt to finish them tomorrow. If I don't, I don't. That's where we're at. Because realistically tomorrow I still need to also brand and cut all of the logos, and I will also need to do the leather. So I think tonight we'll go through and split these up into the leather choices, which are like that pull-up nice warm brown and the black. Because like these strawberries would look really good with the nice warm brown, I think. Especially with the pink and the dusty lavender, or whatever I'm going to call it. Oh, hey, the bobbin may not laugh in my face tonight. Let's see. I think we might be in the clear for our bobbin at least. Whew. Yeah, so far. We're good. Phew. Okay, that is everything. That is a spare pair of set of pockets. And then those have to be stitched with white. Alrighty. Let's get those shoved off the back of the desk. Swap our thread out. Thread to the white thread. Just back here. Swap the bobbin thread. So it's just ready to go. Like the bobbin was just wound. Got a full white bobbin, and I've got a partial white bobbin. And then black thread off the bobbin spool. Ding. Black bobbin out of the case. Looking pretty good. I would double check the case to make sure that there isn't a bunch of like gunk in any of its little crevices. Mostly lint. Okay, there's the bobbin in. Thread. Bobbin thread in. And down. And around. And in. And then bobbin thread up. And through. And now we gotta blah de blah. Thread it. That's the word. Thread the thread. Thread the needle. In and around everything. Okay, up and around. And in. And down. And in and into here, into there, and around and in. Done. Alright, Sweet. Now, more of this madness. Pockets. Actually, once we sew these pockets, then we're just gonna flip right around and do just sew the interiors together, because I know that this matches up with this last set of bags we just sewed, or at least close enough. But yeah, I'll do all these interiors, and then we can, I say that like I shouldn't also do the exteriors at the same time. The thing about the exteriors is that they're all going to need to get D-ring tabs put in, so I'm like, I guess I could clip the D-ring tabs in after this, and then we can just sew again. That might be the best, because clipping D-ring and tabs in is fiddly and long. Takes a while. Sewing the interiors does not, so it'd be a nice break after that work. So yeah, that's what we'll do then. One. This one is to go, most of these should be beige with white with the confetti, but this one is to go with that pink print, the hedgehogs. The Dusty Rose hedgehogs. And no, I am not counting that bobbin count because we didn't empty the black bobbin. So. Sorry, apparently I am quieter tonight, but I am more tired tonight. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I've been pretty tired this week, but I think I've just run out of the store of stories for now. So we might just tick along with our sewing here until I kind of, something inspires a story, I think. We are going to come up on the end of this bobbin probably very rapidly, since it's only like a 3/4 to 2/3 bobbin. I just realized that my two fonts do not match. Oops. Probably should have matched those. Oh well. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4 more interiors. 4 more. And then we'll have to do the pocket divisions, and then we'll go on. I probably should have just cut these out of the roundup, but like they are some of my favorite fabrics, so we'll see what we can do. I really want the strawberry. I want the strawberries to come with me, because they look amazing. What did I say? 4 more, 4 more, 4 more, then pockets, then pockets. Hey, Flynn Blonde, how are you? You coming down to quality control inspect and tell me when bags are hiding? Because that would be most helpful. This will be very helpful if you don't jump up there and knock everything down. Yeah, I know. Hi, Chatty. What's up? Eek. Totally attacking him with thread. Accidentally. Alright. 3 more. 3 more. 3 more. At least this wasn't like, well, yeah. I was going to say, at least this wasn't like the white pile with the confetti pockets, because my goodness, would it have been a lot more work. But that one would have been hard to miss as well. This is ridiculous. I don't know why I went to clip that. We're not done yet. My brain's like, but you are. You're done. Stop trying to make more bags. It's not going to happen. But it might. Don't know if I don't try. Okay, so of all my best laid plans of mice and mothers, I fucked up. And missed a whole pile of interiors and pockets. And apparently I'm also short confetti pockets. How am I short confetti pockets? Maybe I have an extra lining. Let's go with I have an extra lining. And then we'll match up. Oh, right, because I think I swapped in, the monologuing is going decent. I'm tired, though, so it's like, it's definitely dropped off tonight. But anyway, I found a bunch of these pockets and linings that weren't finished, and a bunch that were also not top stitched right at the end when I was like, yes, I'm like so close to being done, and this is going so smooth, and patting myself on the back, and then, yeah. And then I found 10 more bags that still need to be finished. So that's where we're at. But otherwise, all the other pockets are sewn into the bags. We have gotten all the canvas, like the exteriors, top stitched. And what else did we do? And we got all the dark drawstrings also done. So like literally this hopefully is the last pocket. I don't know why I have an extra lining here, but if we're out of lining right now, well, it'll get used, or that bag is just not gonna get finished tonight. So the plan is that anything, no, they were the ones that I was gonna sew. It was like they were just, for some reason, I had them tucked in between the layers of the pockets. And then some of them, the ones that needed the dark stitching on their drawstrings, were like up in the bin. So maybe I'll blame the cat. The cat hid them, right? Because he was sleeping in there the other day. But whatever, we're nearly back to where we should be at this point. Anyway, the plan is right now that I'm going to complete as many interiors and exteriors as I can. Anything that does not get done tonight is not getting done for this weekend, because basically I really only have tomorrow to finish up bags. Friday is for my long run and taxes. Yay. I need to track down the childcare receipt. I need to write myself a note. And then we need, what did I say earlier? We need packing paper. Okay, so 4-piece packing paper for taxes. That and the other thing. Childcare receipt. The point of separation. Yeah, we'll just... Here's the thing is, if I can't get the interiors and exteriors done tonight, there's no way I'm going to be able to smash those bags together tomorrow. Because it's still going to be like... I still need to cut down the leather. The strips are cut, but I need to cut down the leather, which I didn't want to put a lot of effort in until I knew what bags were getting what handles, basically. And then it'll be... Also, I need to brand the logos. So those are like 2 other points that just I haven't even touched yet. And they still need to happen tomorrow. So that truncates the sewing time too. I'm going to have a morning with the kids tomorrow. And then we'll come home, and after lunch I will be on and just sewing my butt off, basically. So, we'll see. Our bobbin counts are currently accurate, although I did not count changing the black bobbin to the white bobbin. Although, now that I think of it, I should have. Because really, it's bobbin changes. Because then, yeah, otherwise I guess the black count is technically inaccurate because that was black bobbin changes. Yeah, close enough. That feels like, I talked about the bobbin and the bobbin thread right now. Of course. That feels like it's like half a dozen of one and 6 of the other. Swapped. And in and down and out. Come on, thread. There we go. Okay. So the bobbin. Another bobbin bites the dust. 7. Get this set up to wind. Hi, Kat. What's up? Yeah. Hello. I love you too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you probably need some food or water or something upstairs, hey? Is that why you're all chatty? Mm-hmm. Please don't knock anything down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. What kind of thread I use? I use an all-purpose like polyester. Just because of the strength of the polyester, to be honest. Unless I'm doing bull cozies, which are not a product that I've put really into production yet, but those will get 100% cotton thread. Because then you can put them in the microwave. This thread on the massive spools is some sort of thread. I know it's 100% polyester, and I think it's Tex 40. I previously was only ever used Gutermann, but the cost of Gutermann's gone up like 3 times since the last spools I bought. So I took a chance on this one, and I actually really like it. I will figure out how to get you the name of it here in a second. I don't know about that. I don't know if Tex 40 is actually bag weight. The one that I currently have is definitely thicker than, like, it's still the same weight, but it is thicker than the Gutermann, which is interesting. What did I use? Let me see if I can just log in here and grab it. Yes, I can. Come here, my pretty. Oh. It's like it doesn't match. Why doesn't it match? Not now. It didn't work. Okay, here. There it is. Okay, so it is called Perform X All-Purpose. Oh, it's an all-purpose cotton-wrapped polycore thread. Tex 40. And I thought it was 15,000 yards. But it's 12,000 yards. So the important part of that is the Tex 40. No, it's interesting because it's like I didn't actually know that this was cotton wrapped, to be honest. Fancy. But yeah, the important part is the Tex 40. I think most people, unless you're doing top stitching in a heavier weight, usually use a Tex 40 for their bags. And then I think the top stitching weight can go up to a Tex 70. I think it's one of those situations where the numbers go up, they go larger, not they go down, they go larger. But if you're looking for specific weights, what I would suggest is looking up like a chart, because they're all different. It's ridiculous. It's like, oh my god. The things you don't know until you have to like change because of a cost or something like that. But the Gutermann that I used previously was and this wasn't even a Tex. It's Mara 100 5,000 meter. Okay, so it's like I use 9014s, and so right now I've got a 11018 in, and I also use, why do I have a 7010 in here? 7010 is too thick. Oh, that was serger needles. Okay, I need to keep that one because that's the serger needles. I need more needles. Thank you. And there's a gunmetal D-ring. Perfect. Everything is sunk in here. Anyway, 9040s and 11018. I couldn't remember what was actually in the machine right now. Yeah, and then the ones for the serger are 7010, which seem really heavy. But okay, sure. Go off. Really. And that does depend on like how many layers I'm doing and stuff, right? And things like that. But I do find like this, it's setting really nice. It's a nice even like stitch. It's not making massive holes, all of that. 9014 does typically work as well. I don't actually notice that big a difference between the two of them, but the 110s are definitely easier to thread. The needle, the eye is a little bit larger. And that's probably just because it's like the weights that I'm working with are stabilized and interfaced and like lots and lots and lots of layers too. And then I guess there's like a rating system for how high your needle can actually go in your machine. I don't actually know what it is on this one because I've never tested it. These were just the sizes that were actually recommended by the salespeople. So I was just like, all right, you're gonna know the machine better than I do. And that's what I've stuck with because it works for what I'm doing as well. I do think for some of the stuff, I probably do need to find something that would imitate a jeans needle for this, or what would be called a jeans needle on a domestic. Just for like some of the heavier times when I'm doing like obi and kimono work and stuff like that. Although at the same time, I don't want to go much heavier because the fabric is also like delicate. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. That's partly why I went to the rivets for the wallets and stuff like that, because it actually holds it together really well. Anyway, the person that kind of started to tick me off to the fact that tip me off to the fact that there's like in a way that I was actually conscious of it, because of course it's not really talked about in the actual bag patterns, is Okla Roots on YouTube. She does a really good tutorial series. Yeah. Actually, that is something that... You are being a pest, dude. What are you doing back there? Don't scratch the box. Don't scratch the box. I see you. That is actually something that we'll be working on later this summer, is some cross-stitch bags. Like accordion style, I think. And then some with... Well, if you've been hanging out for a while, you've seen me probably experimenting a little bit. And then for the larger ones, they kind of like vinyl, framed vinyl, I think is kind of what I'm going to go for. Just because when you start getting into the whole like 11 by 17 frames and stuff like that, it gets quite expensive. But it does seem like there's not a lot of very good options for cross-stitch and embroidery bags unless you make them yourself. At least from what I've been seeing from some of the shows I've been at recently, where there's been like a cross-stitch vendor, threads vendor. All right, 2 pockets. And 3 pockets coming up. And then we have 1, okay, 5 more pieces. So that was 2 pockets. Now we're onto the 3 pockets. Of the vinyl. Yeah, my roll of maybe, I don't know, I don't even know if it was 3 meters. I don't even know when I purchased it. I definitely know I purchased it when we were still in the old house. And I would have purchased it when I was still upstairs, so it's at least 5 years old. Probably more. My maybe that's how I'll do wedge bags, is I'll do like vinyl pieced wedge bags or something like that, because that's actually what I bought it to do, was like, actually it has to have been longer than that, because the first bags that I really experimented with the vinyl with were North American fabrics. So anyway, but that's what I bought them to do, was like bags that were basically framed by Japanese fabric with like a vinyl. But I could do the wedge bag with like a Japanese fabric back and a vinyl on the front. That might be really cool. Still gonna put out a poll to Instagram and newsletter subscribers, actually a survey to the newsletter subscribers. So if you have opinions on wedge bags, please make sure you're signed up for the newsletter. And again, this is not something that's gonna happen instantly. This is something that's like September, probably at earliest. All right, last two pockets, and then we're free of the pockets for this round. We're not even halfway through what I cut. That's okay. Everything is awesome, right? It is. These are cat problems, like I said. Or Kato problems. Told my husband that joke, by the way, and he very much appreciated it as well. So we went to pick up the kids from preschool today. Of course, we didn't leave them in there overnight. And they were just like, they were ready to go. They were like, not quite jumping up and down at the door, which they have done in the past, which is hilarious because it's a clear door, and so you're just like watching these two children like puppies jumping out the door. Damn close though. Oh, there's so many threads to clip. I forgot about that. Okay. So I guess that's the first thing we're going to do is clip the threads. Yeah, okay. We're going to focus in on clipping threads, and then we'll focus in on actually getting these like sewn together and assembled. But if I don't clip these threads while they're open, they aren't getting clipped, and that doesn't look good when they're finished, obviously. So we're going to move the thread bin over here, and we're going to clip down the threads. Anyway, they're jumping up and down, so ready to like get picked up. And my youngest came up and was like, "Mama, I want up." I looked at them and I went, "Why?" Because to me it was funny. And the teacher gave me such a horrified look. I'm like, "Why wouldn't you want to pick your child up?" The kid is fine. I picked them up. Like I wasn't going to pick them up. But yeah, just the look from the teacher is obviously still making me laugh. And that child climbed me like a kitten. It was like I picked them up and they were just like, I'm like, all right. Well, at least you're assisting me in the climb. Apparently they keep running out of food at school. It's like you try to feed them at home and they eat nothing, even when they're super active. Then they go to school and they eat everything. And it's just like, well, and it's also because they didn't eat any breakfast this morning, pretty much. I think that was probably the bigger thing. Just like, how do I feed you before you go to school so you're not always like starving while you're there? No, it seemed like they had they were in extremely good moods. Just, they were done. And they had a bunch to chat about, so I would like, that's not what I was thinking it was. Maybe it was. But it wasn't like an approach like, "I missed you," or anything like that either, so that, like, there was no indicators of it. So. Oh well. They also fell asleep really fast tonight, so I think they just had a really long play day, which is awesome. Okay. All the threads. Actually, we'll clip these ones, and since the other pockets are buried under the exteriors, we'll sew these interiors, and then we'll go to the next set. Just to break it up a little bit. If you're not careful, you're going to fall off that desk. And that would be a crash, dude. There you go. Now you're against the cart, at least. Okay. So because we chain pieced, basically what I have to do is go through and clip all of the threads that were in between and clip them down to the actual lining so that there's no, like, wispy ends in the bag. A, textural nightmare. B, I don't want them like snagging and like incidentally pulling out or something like that. They shouldn't, but it's like one of my fears. And whatever I'm doing is still working fine because it's like some of the bags, one of the original bags I made myself is like 8 years old and it's still going super strong. Actually, that was one of the really cool things I saw at yes. As when we started with my youngest, they were like 18 going on 19 months. Peak separation anxiety. Would drop them off, they would be crying. And then this day at home was awesome, so they sent pictures because they fed them breakfast. And they would be fine. Perfectly fine. It was just that like transition. Now they go to school and they're just like, if it's not like, can I have a kiss before they leave, it's like they just completely ignore us and they're gone. So yeah, transitions are hard. So much thread. It's insane too, because it's like, this is chain piecing, so there's not that much excess thread, but there's still so much thread. So much to be cut. And it's this white on white, and this white on white is so hard to see. That's actually a good argument for having like maybe a bit different color pockets. Ding, ding, ding. The car is too noisy to drop us off. That is something I could see them saying. I tell them now when we have to fill our vehicles that we have to feed the vehicle. Because they're always like, what are we doing? We're at the grocery store. And it's like, well, we're going to feed the Jeep or feed the truck. Because we have a Costco membership. So it's like, gas is significantly cheaper. And I'm very strategic about what vehicle I take in so that we can fill it up. Well, right now I know where Flynn is because he is back here motoring away himself. Holy. Like, turned my head to put the pockets on the cart here, and it's just like a rumble in the box. I still remember my dad's old pickup. Like, it had the backup, like, it's not the indicator, but the backup noise. So the bump bump honking noise. Oh my goodness, I don't even know what it's called, but whatever. So you'd hear him when he left at night. But it still had the carburetor, so it still would like backfire every once in a while. Great big old white Ford pickup, long box, crew cab. Thing was, thinking about now, that thing was insane, but it was a work truck for him, so what are you gonna do, right? That's what you gotta drive. Alrighty. Interiors. Actually, I just was like, wait, I should check the seam allowance on this. I'm pretty sure I know what it is. But you know, check now. Oh. I haven't read these instructions for a while. And they have some tips and tricks that might be useful. Okay. Anyway. Interesting, let's move on. Oh, right, I can use this again because we're down to seam allowances again. Manual, holy. When we bought the Jeep, I found us a really good deal considering like the kilometers that it had and stuff, and it was automatic because I'm like, I could probably figure out how to drive standard, but I don't really want that learning curve. Plus it reduces the resale value of the Jeep significantly because most of them on the market are actually manual. Does it have any other bells and whistles? No. It has tinted windows in the back, which I've noticed is actually a bells and whistles afterwards, but like manual locks, manual windows, no AC. which is not a big deal because it's a Jeep. We're super close to getting to take the roof off again, which is exciting. I just want to make sure that I'm actually reading that correct. The like little heart button on my chat end is always in the way. And so it's a lowered sedan? How can... okay, so the sedan is like a four-door car, correct? I didn't think you would want to get those any lower. I am a tall person though, and I find it very difficult to get in and out of cars. I always struggle with cars. All right. No, I definitely go taller just because it's easier for us to get in and out of. Although at this point, a minivan would have been a very nice option. Okay, good. Yeah, that would make it more difficult too. But like, and so I'm 5'8". I'm 173 centimeters ish. 173? I think that's what it translates to. And Dallas is like 6'1". At his peak, he was 6'1". So I think he shrunk a little bit, but not insane amounts. The Jeep is definitely not as comfortable of a ride for him. The hilarious part about the Jeep is, so we bought it as a more reliable backup vehicle because he had an old Sierra, but it was just a super cab, so the Sierra is a pickup as well. We don't need two pickup trucks as part of it. We had a better running pickup, and the Jeep was basically a replacement for the super cab so that we would have two reliable vehicles in case one of us was out, blah, 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 blah. And then very rapidly found out just how friggin' hard it is to fit a car seat in the back of the Jeep. I hadn't exactly done my research. They're not exactly the most family-friendly of vehicles. We made it work. I did find one. And actually, now we're in the forward-facing car seats, so they fit better. And we're extremely close to being able to do booster seats, which it is a little bit young probably, but, well, it's 40 pounds. I think we're around 37 pounds right now, so it's like, It'll be soon. Or it won't be that long. And we'll be in them fine. And by that point, they will have grown, I think, quite a bit more too. Because they're both over 38 inches. I think the youngest just had a growth spurt because we went out for like a big long walk last night. Yes, today's Wednesday. Yes. We went for a big long walk and they just kept like, poor kid, just kept tripping and like totally biffed it in the grass going to the park, like flat out, grass on the face. Got to them and checked them over. I thought that they had like a scrape because they had some bright red on them, and then I remembered, no, it's strawberry because I had seen it before we left the house and forgot to clean it off. It's just like, poor kiddo. Which is also why I think they're probably running out of food at school. Is probably that they're trying to catch up because the little grow belly is gone. Because they get chunky, right? And then they do growth spurt, and then they eat to catch up so they can do their next growth spurt. At least that's been my experience so far. Ooh, I need to wind that bobbin. Okay. Whoops. Here I am, just trucking along. Monologuing. Alright. Turn. And under. And up this side. Nope. Our Wrangler at least is like 4 doors. And I wanted the 4-door because, yeah, nope. Nope. Part of it is also that at least there's a little bit of a trunk behind too, so that if you get rear-ended, you're not like right on that back row of seats for us, especially with the kids. So it was funny though, because there were some people who were like, all right, I've got a Wrangler, can I fit 3 child seats across the back? And I'm just like, apparently you can do it. It's not fun. We actually had to like lift the back seats with a little, like, basically we had to put a shim under the back seat for the infant carrier. That was fun. Made it fit better, a lot better though, so it did make it safer. And I should have done a little bit more research, but I've always wanted a Wrangler, and it was such a, like, for what it was a really good price, so. Yeah, I can't imagine. And yeah, totally wearing strawberries on their face. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, my mom used to have a Wrangler, and I've like dreamt, it was like between a Wrangler and a VW Bug. But the new VW Bugs are ugly, in my opinion. Like I guess they're not bugs anymore, the VW Beetle. It looks like a proper Beetle versus like the Ladybug Beetle. And so it's just like, no, I don't like that as much anymore. Plus, the more I hear about VW, the more it's just like, nyeh. Dallas is always like, it's so like, feels like it just will come apart and you can just replace it. And I'm like, yes, it was developed for wartime. You got to be able to swap the parts really easily. And it's modular, so you could do that. Now it's a little bit less modular than it used to be, but definitely the reasoning behind it. Like how old of a Bug or how old of a Wrangler? The Wrangler we have is a 2014, so we actually got a fairly new vehicle used. We've had it now, so we got it in 2019, and we've had it for 3 years now, almost. Wait. 5 years. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah, the Bug model that I loved to look at. Here's the thing, it snows in Canada. So like I didn't want to drive a vehicle in the snow, or a car in the snow. I know lots of people who do. But I would prefer to keep some 4-wheel drive capabilities. So that's why the Jeep won out in the end of it all, plus the new Beetle being ugly. But yeah, the old like 60s Bugs always drew my attention because they were so classic looking. And then that like the first re-release of the Bug, I think whatever it was, early 2000s? I can't even remember. Late 90s? Although actually I had a coworker who used to live out when I worked at the information center, and she said it did pretty good in the snow, so like, okay, cool, because she also was not like in town either. She actually lived out on an acreage as well. But yeah, I could see that happening, especially if it was like an older model. It's that is one drawback to the Jeep is like, so last summer we left the top off as much as we could. So basically I think most of the summer. I don't think we had a lot of hail from what I remember. And the visors, even now when I open them, I didn't even think about it. Opened one of the visors over the winter and it's like, it's all dusty. Why is it dusty? Like, oh right, because we had the top off for like the majority of the summer last year. Of course it's going to be dusty. I still haven't cleaned them. We're going to take the top off in a couple weeks. They're probably not going to get cleaned until the end of this season. Because whatever. Although that is a good point that there's probably a lot more dust in that vehicle just for that even. And maybe we'll wait until after pollen season, because we have not hit pollen season yet. Yeah. Yeah, no top. Well, the top really can't come off till the end of May anyway. So we'll probably take it off. Yeah. End of May. End of May is good. Our eldest got their first birthday party invite, so that was kind of cool. And then I went, oh crap, do I need to plan a birthday party for school friends? Because I wasn't even thinking about it, and their birthdays are like, so the youngest, no, they're nah, but like maybe I should for the eldest, given that they gave us like 2 weeks notice. It's like, okay, it'd also be a pretty small gathering, I think, because it'd only be people that like they could name from school. I don't know. I'll decide in a few days, I guess. It's also like, I don't know if we need to do one this year or if we wait till next year. They'll be turning 4. And then the youngest will be turning 3 this year. So, like, the youngest, nah. Although they did say that they wanted to go to one of their friends' birthdays. The youngest did. So I told them that if they got an invite, they could go. But that also, so the youngest didn't get invited to this birthday party. So that tells me also that the older kid isn't just going around and like inviting the whole class or anything like that, which is kind of nice. So I feel like we also wouldn't have to like invite the whole class sort of thing for a birthday party. I don't know. I'll decide. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I don't even know what, like, yeah, it's preschool. So it's like, yeah, it's like right in between. It would be fun. It would be chaotic. The other thing is, I don't know what people even do for birthday parties here, because it's like, it's not exactly like we've had a lot of experience with it in the past 4 years. So maybe we will host one and we'll go observe what this party is. And then I'll plan it from that. I don't know. We'll find out here. I have to RSVP and also ask. It's like, because they didn't put any like guidance if they want gifts or anything. So it's like, okay, do you want a gift, or would you like a donation somewhere, or a gift card, or just a card that like the eldest has signed? I don't know. So those are also important questions. It's also like, is this like just the kids, or are parents allowed to like stay and supervise? Again, I don't know how to navigate this yet. It's all very new. And these are some of the questions I'm going to ask though. Because I also don't want to just ditch my kid at some stranger's house. And then, like, yeah. I know it's not ditching. It's an invite. But, yeah. She does talk about the kid, so at least they, like, have some sort of relationship on some level. But it's kind of awesome. No, exactly. They're too young. And again, I don't know the parents. I don't know the kid. I don't know the other kids that are going to be there either. So I don't know if it's like just the preschool kids that they've invited or what. So it was the same as like the play date, mom, and like I'm fine, or I'm like I really want to arrange a play date, kind of like casual, just at a playground or something for the eldest and like this other little kid that's at the preschool that they're constantly talking about. And the mom just instantly jumped on it, and she's like, yeah, I'm totally fine with that. Let's do it. And like, you can just drop them off and go on a date or something like that. I'm like, whoa. I appreciate the offer, but it didn't need to be quite that much. So it's like, I don't want to step on your toes, but like, do you mind if I come and just make sure she's like comfortable even in the situation? Like, oof. And she's like, absolutely. I'm like, awesome. I don't mean to like imply that anything is going to go wrong, but yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna ask. Yeah, exactly, right? It's also a little bit of like, I think part of it is like she's on mat leave right now, so she's just like, yeah, I'm totally fine with this. But yeah, we'll still go have a play date. But she's like, we've got a trampoline in the back. I'm like, cool, we can come do that. Just a little bit more casual, because I also, a little bit this is on my side of like, I am not comfortable reciprocating that. Like, I wanted to meet at a playground. It does make sense to meet at her house, because she has a 6-month-old. So like, that makes sense to me. That is far easier. She has 3. So she's got an older one, the preschooler, and then a 6-month-old. So like, yeah, that does make sense. And I'm fine with that, but again, I don't want to just ditch the child and leave. That's not, in part because again, I don't want to necessarily reciprocate. But I also don't want to be like, well, I still want it to happen because I think it's important. I don't know. It's weird because it's like, with my mom, she always came to everything that we went to, and it's like, I don't want to be overbearing either, but they're too young. And she did flat out say, she's like, because I was like, okay, I'll have to organize something for the younger one because, so they're not feeling left out because fairness police. And she's like, well, if you're going to come, they can come too. I do think I will just keep it to us two to begin with, because then that's a little bit less overwhelming as well. Okay, so I'm not being like nuts that I think that, yeah, exactly. Okay, good. I'm like, that makes me feel more comfortable. And I think that is the general gist of what I'm getting from most parents online as well, is that like at least one parent stays. And I know this is the internet, so you kind of get like a very dilute, or not diluted, the other way, concentrated kind of set of people, but like just the stories sometimes I'm hearing, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna stick around. Okay. Well, now I feel a little bit better about it. Like, I don't know how to navigate that. I'm pretty good with people, but I still occasionally, it's like, I'm approaching a stranger. No, that strikes me as like what is, well, and like Andrea just said, that, yeah, that feels like exactly the nice middle ground that should happen, right? So you don't have to be like friends with the parents necessarily. You just, are there to make sure your kid doesn't like destroy their house either. And the other thing of it is like they're not even ready really to use the potty by themselves and things like that too. So just, I don't know. Parental interaction. Yeah, that's fair. It's probably better not to do the social media. The internet's a good place until it's not. I'm getting to the point where it's like I will do enough of it and then I'll be like, all right, that's enough, get off. Yeah. Okay, sweet. Well, I'm glad I have backup on that. I didn't think it was. And it was also kind of like, well, if you say no, then like we'll just arrange it for a park or something like that. But it is also, it kind of throws up a red flag, I think, a little bit. Also, if she has a 6-month-old to chase around, chasing 2 toddlers, 2 very active, or at least ours is very active when they want to be. Like chasing 2 toddlers around would be, and also tending to your 6-month-old would be a lot, I think. I don't know. Anyway, okay. At least I read the situation right, and I'm not out of the bounds I should be in. But yeah, I'll do the same with the party. I'm going to assume it's going to be very similar, because it strikes me as like most people there are probably of the same sensibility. It's interesting, because like we did the end of year party last year, and the parents were not social, which is like whatever, but it's also like, I don't know. No, the birthday party is for a different person. So the play date was someone that I had already kind of had on my like radar, because the eldest had been talking about them constantly, and I was like, yeah, I'll get the mom's number and we'll chat about getting together. But it just finally came that I had an opportunity last week to get the number. And then the birthday party was an invite that I just found out about today, because they got handed out obviously today as well. So at least they're making friends, which is cute. And my youngest kept talking about a spiky at school. We finally figured out who it was, because when I picked them up for the library field trip, they finally pointed at the like little name tag, and I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. I told the teacher later, and they're like, yep, the way that they end up saying the name would come out as Spiky, because it was wild. It was like we had all these interactions about how they played with Spiky, but like we have one of the physio balls at home that has a bunch of like spikes on it, and they would describe the physio ball at home, and it's like, okay, so you're playing with a spiky ball. No, I'm playing with Spiky. It's like, what are you talking about, child? And I asked the teacher, and I'm like, do you have a kid that goes by a nickname Spiky? And they're like, no. So that mystery at least was finally solved for the youngest. And then the teacher this morning was like, all right, it's assessment time. They do, it's actually really nice. They do their assessments or start their assessments in the spring. And they're like, do you want the youngest to go through assessments? Like, hell yes, we want the youngest to go through assessments. Because if we can take advantage of the tax dollars that we put in, I totally will. Yeah. And then we kind of just gave a generalized rundown of like where our points of concern are, which are very different from the eldest. So the eldest was definitely like speech delay. We'd already been working a little bit with a speech therapist before they went into preschool. Got an assessment, and they're like, yes. It's like, yeah, that's not a surprise. But the youngest is definitely more, there might be a little bit delay in like physical and Definitely emotional regulation. The youngest has, sorry, what? This is the problem with the monologuing and not looking at the chat consistently. Sorry. Oh, and I lost my train of thought. Completely derailed. Oh, Spiky. It's Blakey. Blakey. Yeah. So the little kid is called Blake. And so the nickname for them is Blakey. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, assessments are coming up. And I'm like, yeah, the emotional regulation is a big one. The youngest has always been more mad. They've been angry since I evicted them because I was induced. And it's just funny because that's just been their personality. Yeah, exactly. So it's Blakey and Anderson. But yeah, so we're going to get an assessment done. This kiddo at like 6 months, this was terrifying. I do not wish them on anyone. Apparently it's extremely normal. Had breath holding spells. So they were overtired, and we knew this. We were getting them ready for bed. I went, because we were cloth diapered, so I went to the dryer to get a cloth diaper, walked back in the room, and they were purple. Against the side of their crib. They had like fallen over in the crib, because I just put them in the crib to keep them there for a second. Turns out it's a breath holding spell. They will hold their breath when they're angry and overtired and everything so long that they will pass out. Now, it has thankfully not happened, because basically the doctor said, yeah, that's normal. They look perfectly fine. They're fine. But it can happen from like 6 months to 6 years. Thankfully, the frequency of these events has actually gone down. And the nurse, when we were checking in, she's like, yeah, you can just blow on their face. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been doing. But like, I didn't catch this one in time, because it basically shocks them into taking a breath. And it's just like, holy, the things you learn. Anyway, so the teacher very much agreed that was one of the things that they definitely would assess and work on. I know, right? It's like, it was extremely scary, because you're like, why is my child purple? And so basically the rules where it's like, they're not as big a deal when they're younger because they don't have as far to fall, essentially. They become a lot bigger deal if they continue them as they get older, because obviously they faint and they can hit their head. That's actually one of the bigger concerns. And then the parameters for that concern were also like, if they don't start breathing again within a minute, and if they don't turn pink after they start breathing, it's like, well, yeah, that makes sense. And of course, that first time you're like, I don't know how long any of this went on for. But I had been observing that they would get very upset. But if you did that sharp, just in their face, typically they would snap out of it and catch their breath. So I had unconsciously been mitigating these breath holding spells before this, but yeah, just obviously pushed it a little bit too far, trying to get them ready for bed. Needless to say, that was a long ER wait. And that was a little bit hardening, because by the time that we got there, of course, they weren't overly concerned about it. Even we actually did call 911, which is the ambulance here, because it was like, okay, this has never happened before. And all of that, but they checked out. They kept falling asleep, which was actually the bigger concern, because it's like, okay, you're not, are you concussed or what? But yeah, the ER wasn't too concerned, because we ended up having a 4-hour wait, which was a late night. And then yeah, you get told that's normal, but you don't know. You don't know. But thankfully, I know that we've had one recently, but I can't remember when it was. And we have gotten it down. If it does happen, it's they have been pushed to the absolute limit. they're tired, they're hungry, or like they're really, 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 really mad. But it's mostly transitioned into just really bad tantrums at this point. Which are... And when I say really bad, it's like about a 45-minute tantrum. I think that's one of the worst ones we've had. I know, and yeah, just really angry. It's insane. I do remember my brother having insanely bad tantrums when he was a kid. So, like, one time my mom was like, you gotta hold our hands in the parking lot. Perfectly reasonable request, sort of thing. Let's not die in the parking lot. And this kid was so angry, he like ripped himself out of my mom's hands and like right back on his head in this like newly paved parking lot. It was bad. So they'll be working on the emotional regulation at school for sure. Thankfully it has gotten better. I think day home really helped kind of kickstart it, and now I think also being in a larger group with the preschool, because basically the day home was 6 kids. The preschool I think is typically around 24-ish, give or take a few. So I think that's also helping, is like a broader pool of personalities and a little bit more social smackdown, which sounds absolutely terrible, but there's only so many things, of course, that adults can do with kids. That like, yeah, the kids reinforce bad behavior sometimes, but they also reinforce like, you can't pull this shit with me. So it seems, yeah, I don't know. But here's the thing, they're really, they can get really angry and they can have really big tantrums, but this kid is like is such a sweetheart when they're not angry. So we'll just be working through that to make sure that it doesn't carry over. Wicked sense of humor too. Absolutely insane. Just how good it is sometimes. Definitely second child energy though, from what I can tell. First was easy until it hit 3, and then we hit that 3-nager stage, and then the younger one hit 2, and I knew we'd have to buckle in for 2, but the fact that both of them are happening at the same time is whew. Although then tonight it's like we were going out for a walk and it was like, okay, you guys are going in the stroller because like this is walk time for mom and dad. That's just what it is. Dallas requested that the eldest get in the stroller, and I reinforced that request. And then eldest took off down the street. So I took off down the street. And this is why I need to run. Although I was hindered by my jeans falling down, which is like lovely. I need a belt. Couldn't caught them though, because they might be fast, but I am still faster right now. And they got brought back and I put them in the stroller because no. Okay, I think no. Okay, I was like, I think I've cut down all of these, but I have not. They're all cut apart? No, all the confetti ones are cut apart, but I have not trimmed down the thread. Ah, Katie. God damn it. This is... No! Okay, well, we just saved ourselves a bunch of time. Those are not getting done tonight. All of the animal ones are still here to be top stitched. I guess I could still top stitch them. All the pockets are done. Best laid plans. At least they're all together with their pockets. Yeah. Thankfully, they don't tantrum in public very often. I can't imagine having a breath holding spell in public. Oh my god. But at home, it's pretty tough. They're usually pretty good. We've gotten really good about doing... my eldest, when they started school last year, the big thing that they had difficulty with was transitions, especially transitions from what they called preferred to non-preferred tasks. Which we've reinforced at home of, like, if we're trying to transition off of, like, say we're watching a show, then it's like, okay, this is when we're going to end it, and that is it. There is no giving in to that. And they're usually pretty good about it. Occasionally not. But that is something that's definitely improved with, like, the reinforcement at school with the therapists and stuff like that. And just the in-school thing is, like, that transitions have gotten easier. And everything. We have noticed that we just had I say we just, but, like, in February we had the kind of, like, midway check-in meeting. And they said that she's doing really good. So, and we've definitely noticed an improvement as well, because their emotional regulation was definitely also needed to have some of those supports put into place as well. Now, tantrums in the car seat, 100%. Tantrums at the house, 100%. The transition out of the tantrum is usually faster now, though, which is nice. Do I always keep myself emotionally regulated during tantrums? Hell no. Unfortunately. But... they're an adventure. It's usually a good adventure. I'm very glad we have such an amazing preschool. All of those animal prints are not top stitch. I can't believe that. Oh my god. Well, okay, so the debate now is do I try to get them done, or do I just say no and we're good with... I think we're just going to say no and we're good with what we got, considering how much time this thread trim is taking up right now. And we still need to, like... The interiors are going to be fast, but the exteriors all need to have those D-rings placed and set, and... oof. We'll leave them to the end. If I think I have time to do them, we'll do them. Because what time is it? Oh, it's already 11 o'clock. All right, and I don't even have any exteriors done. And that pocket is stitched to that lining. All right, that is definitely a timeout. Gross. Okay. Well, with how fast the interiors go, I think we're... no, I don't know. I think we're still okay. But yeah, we will ditch the animal prints then. Unfortunately, that's okay. There's lots of other ones. Well, I guess more like the cat and dog prints, even though that's what I've predicated this business on, is the cute cat prints. We still have lots. Actually, we don't have a lot of the Kato. And this is where the chaos part of this comes in for sure. Oh, I guess it could actually be... oh, I have no clue. It's the second largest set after the... so the white confetti is the largest set, and then the pets one is a significant number. It's the second largest, but I don't actually have the full counts on it, because that just drives... well, I like having the counts, but then I continually recount them, and so it just wastes time. want to do the animals. We'll do the animals. So what I'll do is we'll swap the thread back to black again, and then we'll top stitch them. I think we can do it. I think I can do it. I think I'm going to break the rule of like whatever gets done tonight is what gets finished tomorrow, because it's like if I can get most of the interiors and exteriors done, I'm good. I do feel like I might need to check my sugars though here. And get a snack, to be honest. Actually, I have a snack in my pocket. Okay. Which means I just gotta turn the collab cam off here and check my sugars. Okay. Take care of this. Don't ban yourself to the daytime. You should stay. Creative, like, chaos just gets more creatively chaotic after midnight. Although I don't know if I'm going to survive after midnight because we still have an early morning tomorrow. Right. Yes, I do need to eat my snack. So I'm going to mute the mic. I'm going to continue clipping here, but I am going to mute the mic so you don't have to listen to me crunching away on this. Okay, there we go. Pocket granola bar that I actually had for my walk in case I was like, I am going low on the walk. But I didn't need it then, so. You should have some knitting or crochet handy. Or, you said you quilt and sew, correct? Could you do handwork? I have no clue what these are even game matched up with because I'm just throwing them on the pile, but we'll just make sure that we've got a 1 pocket or a 2 pocket and a 3 pocket when we go to actually sew them together. Bah. There. And then I'll still need to bring these little snips for the weekend because there is usually at least 24 threads that I miss. Because, you know, that's how it works. Okay. Oh no. It's really annoying, and I don't know what the transition was or what the point of transition was, age of transition was for it, but my eyes now when I start, like, sometimes when I'm cutting patterns, they have to be very well lit. And I'm like, am I going to need bifocals soon or something? All this work is fine. But yeah, it's like and it's not all the time, but once in a while it's like that line is wiggly, or it's like hard to see. Like, now. Apparently I also need to oil my chair. I did oil my shears earlier because they were annoying me because I had to trim something up, and I'm like, and I'm like, no. So I got my spinning wheel oil out. I've probably used my spinning wheel oil more on my shears than I have used it. Well, I definitely have more on my shears than on my spinning wheel in the last few years. Problem with the spinning wheel around the kids is that they want to put their fingers in the wheel spokes, and it's just like, that is a surefire way to get your fingers broken. So I'm not tempting fate for a little bit longer. Clip and snip. Oof. Black cross stitch on black linen would be intense too. Pretty sure I have 2 or 3 cross stitch patterns started and I have not finished. Yeah. It's one of those things I like. Okay, this is actually funny. Cross stitch is why I started knitting. And I'll explain this. So I started knitting because I went cross stitch. And you are totally allowed to laugh at this. Knitting is less counting than cross stitches. And now what is it, 2024? I'm 17 years in, and I'm like, poor baby Katie. Poor baby knitter Katie. Little did she know that knitting is just as much or significantly more counting than cross stitch. You can fudge the numbers easier on knitting though, I think. Yeah, no, that would be tough even for me at this point. The one I gotta figure out what to do, I've got one of the really gorgeous Thomas Kincaid Disney ones of Beauty and the Beast. But I started it not realizing that I started it on the wrong orientation of the fabric. And now I'm like, okay, these kits are like discontinued. Do I rip it out and hope that I have enough thread? Because I know that was one of the issues with a lot of these kits, is they didn't have enough thread. Do I scrap it and buy all new thread, which is expensive, but might be better because I still have the chart? Or do I just continue what I'm doing and let it just like sit in my craft room and figure it out later? I'm really tempted to, I think what I should do is I should rip it out and restart it with the thread that's in the pack, and then just try and find stuff that is a very similar match. It's a very pixelated pattern as it is, so I'm not overly concerned if it doesn't match exactly, because I think there'll be enough variety in the colors that, honestly, if you're looking that close at it, you're looking too close at it. But yeah, actually I think that's what I'll probably do. Then the other question is do I just get it? I might not even rip it out. I might just go get a new piece of fabric to stitch it on. I don't know. I had already done quite a bit of work on it. I'm like, it's a lot of work. And like normally it's not something that I'd be worried about, but like I don't think there's the issues is that if I continue it, I don't think there's enough room for it to be finished and framed or whatever afterwards. So I'm like, damn it. Ooh. That's awesome. I like my number one thing is to knit is sweaters, to be honest. But they are a process. Sweaters and socks. I really like hand knit socks. So it's the fabric has a certain orientation for the size of the pattern, and the way that I'm stitching it right now, the width of the pattern is basically I'm stitching it on the length, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. So if it's like a 12-inch pattern, 12 by, I think it's 10 by 12, to be honest. The fabric is like 14 by 16, and I've got it turned 90 degrees from where it should be. There we go. And so I'm stitching the width on what should be the length instead of it like, yeah, it's not going to be wide enough. There we go. I think I got there. So, and I didn't realize this until I was probably about, well, I was a good chunk in, so. And I'm just dithering about it, so I'm like, I think I just need to make a decision and do it. Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's worth ripping it out even, because it's like I couldn't even reuse the threads if I wanted to at this point. In part because they would be set in their crimp, and in part because it's just like, oh god, how do you even rip that out without damaging the threads in the cloth? So, and then so why I've dithered about it is it's just like, I don't know if I'll have enough thread now. I theoretically should, but I think it'll just be a case of, okay, match it to the closest like DMC or something like that. So much work. It's just annoying. I'll pay better attention to the orientation next time, that's for goddamn sure. I was gonna say that I haven't started a piece since, but I have. I started a Tokyo stitching one that I am like a Tokyo skyline that I'm probably a quarter of the way into, and that has also been set aside. Yeah, no, I'll ditch it, and then I'll deal with it. Plus then I can like take what I've learned and like, because that's part of it, is like I definitely started in a like, yes, I'm going to do this, and then didn't. Yeah, like this time I will go in and I will actually mark my grid lines, which I didn't do on the old one, and all of that, because it was a lot more intense of a crochet or cross stitch pattern than like I'd ever tackled before. So I learned many things very rapidly right after I started it. The jumping in with both feet and then figuring out that there's like way better ways to do it afterwards. It's a good way of learning really rapidly though. Okay. And we're doing the pets. We're doing the pets. We're doing the pets. The only thing we are ditching is we are ditching that one that's the blue pockets that are top stitched with black, because they top stitched into another interior, and I'm not seam ripping right now. There's too much else to do. Okay, how many are actually here? Okay, looking at that pile, it's not as bad as I thought. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we, yeah, exactly, right? So I didn't even know what parking was when I started that one. Or like even what a flippin' needle minder was or anything. So I've got a few larger ones to do now. So I think I might even invest in like a proper frame for it and stuff like that, which would give me an excuse to prototype some of the scroll guide guards and stuff like that. Although I am liking the Q snap, so I don't know. Actually, yeah, the Q snap for that or a frame would be probably the best. Maybe that's what I'll ask for my birthday. And then I'll actually start it. I can only imagine the havoc the kids will wreak on it. It's like I really want to show them me doing crafts and stuff like that, but sometimes it's really hard to like do it right now just because I am a jungle gym and I enjoy that too, but I do miss my knitting when I have the opportunity to sit down. I think I need to start just doing it more. I'm just worried about poking an eye out or something like that. Actually, I guess now that we're going for these night walks, I can do more knitting then. So I can track, once I track it down. Socks are a good one to take along. Okay. Alright, so we will trim the pockets apart. Then we'll swap to the black thread again. And we'll finish the top stitching. I am not messing around with partial bobbins. I will put a full bobbin in. Yeah. Oh, this has been... It's hilarious because didn't I say it's like there's totally going to be something. We're going to do all this work at this here, and something when I get out here will actually trip me up. And that's what tripped me up. Oh well. Learning experiences. Try not to sew up until 2 days before an event. Or at least don't leave this much 2 days before an event. That's for sure. Alright. Pause and pause and pause. That's a 2 pocket. Or yeah, the 2 pocket. I think this should be a 3 pocket here. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Yeah, so I have like the 11 by 17 Q snap, whatever that. So it like 11's almost 30 centimeters, and 17 would be almost the math. 18 inches is 45 centimeters, so it's probably a 25 by, that sounds too small, 27 by 40 centimeter frame. So I think that's probably what I'll end up using for it, because then I don't have to like worry about moving the motif around very much and like crunching the stitches underneath the actual frame. Actually, the one that I started this year that I enjoyed so far has been hand embroidery, and because it's not something that I've done before, but I keep buying kits that are like absolutely spectacular. Shh. We still have a bunch. This is only half. Too. We've got lots of bags for the next show. think I figured it out. It's like kids, and then the fabric has a mind of its own. Okay. Well, at least the interiors are fast to sew, and the slowest part of the exteriors is putting in the D-rings. Oh shoot, I was supposed to grab the clip in before I came in. And sat at the sewing table tonight, but I forgot. Alright, we'll grab that next. So it's like, I think, I don't know what to do next. We gotta do the top stitching next for sure. And then I'll figure out what we're doing next from there, because it's like, I probably should do some of the exteriors and then match up the interiors. Because this is just throwing a loop in like the production tonight completely, so. Oh well. That's why it's chaos. Never know what's gonna happen. Yeah, and doing the late nights like I used to does not agree with my system anymore. Mostly because we still have to be up and at 'em at like 6:30 tomorrow. Well, I'm maybe 7:30 tomorrow. It's actually one of the, I think I mentioned this earlier, but it's one of the glorious things about this show in Dawson Creek this weekend is that setup doesn't even open until 8 o'clock on Sunday, because the show doesn't open until 11. And like as a vendor, that is like huge. It's also nice because it's like, we'll be in Dawson and it's literally just a drive across the road. Or it's a super short drive. There we go. Compared to like going even 45 minutes to an hour into the city. Yes, we're driving 8 hours and 40 minutes. But at least I'll be close to my event. The thing about it is like even for Vancouver now, I rent, or for Knit City in Vancouver, I don't book at the hotel that's like right by the event anymore, because even with the block rate, it's insane, the cost of it. So the last couple years I've stayed at the like a Best Western in Burnaby actually, which has been, and like when I'm saying insane, it's like even with the block rate, I think at Atrium the last time I got a quote, it was like $1,600 for the 4 nights, which it's downtown Vancouver basically. But then you can go and you can stay at the Best Western for like $700 to $900 per night, and you still get the free breakfast and everything like that. So it was a significant price or like cost savings the last few times. But it is a 15-minute drive from the event, so even there it's like, at least I'm close, but I'm not like walking distance anymore. And yeah, I know there's lots of Airbnb options, but it's like you start looking at the Airbnb options with kids and it's like it gets really limited. Also, like you start adding in the cleaning fees and the Airbnb like booking fees and all of that, and usually it turns out to be the same cost as like going to a hotel now. And then you don't know what the policies are that you will need to like, what you'll need to tidy up when you leave the Airbnb. Like I don't mind having to do garbage and stuff like that if it actually leads to a savings. But most of the time it doesn't. At least from what I've seen recently. I don't know. Mer. Cat problems. Have to drive 15 minutes to my show. Mer. That sounds more like a grumpy old man problem, but alright. Okay. Pockets are ready. And I've already unthreaded the white thread accidentally, so here we go. I'm not even going to redo the bobbin thread because we are, like I said, we're going to do a fresh bobbin. Because I'm not messing around with that. You hear me, bobbins? You better not mess this up either, because the black bobbins do tend to be grumpy for the first little bit. This thread end is like split. There we go. That'll make it easier to get it in. Top stitching. And then we're going to go in and we're going to sew all the pockets together. I think that's the most sane way to do this. And then we'll go in and blah-de-blah. And then we'll blah-de-blah. Like a camper van sort of van? Probably. We have the truck. But when we load it up for a show, it's like, there's no way you would be able to even camp in the back of the truck, even with the topper. I've always really wanted a, my grandparents used to have it, but it was a Dodge, oh, what were they called? Something, but it had the, like, over the cab bed and everything like that. But we also don't need a third vehicle right now for something that we would probably not use very much. Dallas is not a big camping person, so that's, yeah. Although I don't know if I would be as an adult either. My one big thing is it's like, I once lost a pair of glasses down an outhouse toilet. That was not fun. So definitely prefer when I have running water, which sucks because there's lots of places that you can't get running water that are absolutely spectacular. Now, is it a complete necessity at my age now? No, but definitely a preference. All right, let's do this. Get this done. Get it done, get it done, get it done. Actually, the other good question would be where they would even be camping around that area. And now that I say that about the Airbnbs, I should actually check that as well and see if they've, like, I don't think it's changed, but it might have. Dallas and I discussed that next year. So they're going to alternate between Knit City, like Knit City Vancouver and Knit City Calgary. So next year it'll be back out in Calgary. And the organizers are actually very cognizant that the expenses of the event have gone up significantly since they started where it was. He can do that. I think it's just a lack of experience with it, and he doesn't like bears. So it's like, bears are very much a reality in our area. And so it makes it hard to justify camping, which, yeah, okay. And now our, like, tent is, like, a 2-person tent. So maybe I'll go out with just the kids. I think that would be a lot of fun. Don't laugh too hard if I come back from that and I'm like, never again, or 6 years from now. But yeah, I would love a camper van. I don't even know where I was going. Oh, the organizers are very cognizant of it being more expensive to get out to Vancouver now. And so that's part of why they're also alternating, I think, between Calgary and Vancouver, is that it is going to be less expensive. It's probably less expensive to actually rent the convention center as well compared to Peony. Yeah, well, you've got all those poisonous snakes and spiders, too. At least ours are upfront about wanting to eat us. Your snakes and spiders are just sneaky. They'd don't even really want to eat you. They just want to poison you. I'm not worried about bears. I'm worried about cougars. Cougars are the scary ones because they're great big giant cats. And cats stalk. Great big giant cats do the same thing. Bears are nasty if you meet the wrong ones. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, because then we have the washroom and everything like that. And like, if that's the only experience they get of camping before like Girl Guides and Scouts, that's fine. But yeah, that is totally what I'm going to do. I've got to make sure that our tent, to be honest, isn't moldy or something like that as well. So that's also less disruptive to like the show schedule for the summer. Anyway, yeah, cougars are way scarier because they're great big giant cats and they sit in trees and stalk you and watch you. Ugh. Wolves shouldn't be too bad. Mountain lions, they're not bad, they're just scary. I don't want to run into a mountain lion. Cougar. Although I would say the same about a tiger probably as well, so. I love tigers to bits, but they are terrifying creatures. I think one of the theories of like why we're so scared of the dark and why it's such a primal fear and such like, because kids get it so young, right? But why would you be afraid of the dark? But one of the running theories is that it's lions, because lions would hunt at night. I don't know if they've updated that, but yeah. No, cougars for sure. Oh, okay. Yes, and in the backyard I don't have to worry about bears and such as much. We can cook in the house and not have food around the tent. Basically we'll just sleep in the tent. I would argue it's like, unless you're in the water, it's probably our only predator on land. Or one of the few. I say as mine gently snores in his box behind me. At least if I'd had them in before, I could have like done them when I had the stuff, the last round of mist bags. There we go. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, we have to have like a night light on for our eldest. Our youngest is fine. Our eldest is fine most nights, but it seems like they're definitely more sensitive to scary right now. And that's only really developed in the last few months too, so we'll see what happens with the younger one. But Flynn does actually sleep in their bedroom on a certain blanket, because Flynn loves the certain blanket. So we've started to tell them, it's like, hey, if the cat is in the room, the cat is the scariest thing. And if the cat is not scared, you're fine. And I've started taking the monsters out, which I think has helped. They've been sleeping in their bed longer recently, so that's nice. I say as I remember that I've been summoned fairly early the past few nights on the stream. I think the youngest is going to be the one that sleeps through the night regularly though before the eldest, which that's fine. But even even last night they like, I think they slept until Dallas left for the gym actually, which was about 5, so that was pretty nice. And they came in, we curled back up and fell asleep until my alarm. It was good. Okay, that's starting to sound like we probably need to change the needle. Could just be the canvas as well. I think we'll wrap up on the top stitching here and then we'll swap the needle for the interior. Can't remember when we changed this needle, but it's probably time. Probably been about 8 hours. Oh boy, okay, let's keep going. Come on, Katie. We can do this. Finger press all the seams to the canvas side, and that's part of why these ones get top stitched, is then it holds the seam down. Also find that changes the way that the canvas actually looks for the framing, which is really cool. It like, yeah, because if you fold the seam up towards the exterior, Japanese fabric, it looks very different. So it would look more like that. That's with the seam up. But I've always folded down because it looks better. I don't know, personal preference mostly. I think at the beginning that was mostly the way that the seams laid the best. Might actually be in the pattern, I can't remember. Can't remember if she tells you to do down to the canvas or not. The other portion of that being that I want the top stitching on the canvas and not in the, like, disrupting the upper exterior fabric either. Dude, you are so precarious. Okay. He's like, I know, yeah, so he's in this box, and he keeps like shifting around in it, so it keeps going closer and closer to the edge of the desk. He is off the edge of the desk right now, so that I moved the cart, so it's like propping the box up. Because he's dark. Apparently did not receive the brain cell yet. Again. All right, 2 more, 3 more, 3 more to top stitch, 3 more to top stitch. That's ridiculous. Oh yeah, you're right. I really want this festival's truck. That's right, or like French market truck. French market trucks. There we go. Two more to top stitch, and then we will, then what am I doing? Am I going to do exteriors or interiors? I think I should do the exteriors because they're going to take more time. Interiors obviously sew up really fast. And the exteriors will take the same amount of time to sew up, but the amount of time to put the D-rings in is the difference. So let's do the exteriors. Which means I'm going to need to dig in that bin of drawstrings for their tabs that we've pre-made. But hey, we don't have to cut the webbing. We've already done that. And we've already got all the D-rings matched, so that's less work as well. So I feel like doing the extra like prep work in the cutting studio still is the better way to do it. Oh, the Jukis are amazing. Yeah. They're terrifying, but they're amazing. One more. Okay. Yeah, and then exteriors and then interiors. Exteriors and interiors. So I think what we will do in this case is we will sew all the exteriors and then I will pull their interiors and we'll sew the interiors. Except for that first round that I did of the ones that were like the randos that I first found that I was like, what are we doing with these? Little did Katie know. Okay. Sewing machine off so I don't accidentally hit the pedal. And like sew over bags or fingers. We're gonna shimmy you over this way a little bit so you can see a bit better. Maybe. Trim, trim, trim. And then the thing to do will be to match up the depth of the webbing. Okay. Getting there. Ridiculous. I'm so annoyed with myself right now. Obviously, it's something that's fairly easy to remedy, but it's just like, come on! Stop losing bags. And we're back to the potato cats. Okay. Potato cats, potato cats, potato cats. I'm gonna pull the bobbin and then I'll reset the thread afterwards because whatever. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I stuck with the full bobbin because I actually used quite a bit of thread to do that many. Pop the white bobbin back in. Thread the white thread afterwards. Okay, so we don't need the drawstrings, but we need the drawstrings channels because they've got all the webbing on them. Oh no. They've fallen out and my hip is very tight. Come here. It's like, why would you want to like lean over that far? This is madness. Alrighty, here we are. So there is all our drawstrings, and then what we're going to do is, because they've got all the D-ring little packages connected to them, I'm going to go in. I'm going to reach in and just grab the ones that I see on the bottom here, because those are the animal ones. Looks like I actually got the majority of them. Sweet. And then we'll pop this. Actually, we'll just leave it right there. And that one. Okay, butterflies are behind the machine. Because you know in 15, 20 minutes, an hour and a half, I'll be like, where are the butterflies? I don't know if I'm going to have the energy to be working for an hour and a half, but we'll see what we can do. Okay. So, I need the clip in. Be right back. Ugh, I'll mute the mic so I don't burst any eardrums. checking the floor to see like if there's any extras on the floor. I found one, so it was worth it. Okay, let's get these guys in, and then so I think it's like at that level right there. I think if I do it this way, I think that's too low. Not like I haven't been making these for 2 years. I can't actually remember where I put it. I do think they need to be a tick lower than they have been in the past. So I'm gonna, yes, okay, I'm gonna split the difference and put it there. As soon as I knock it, of course. Okay. Okay, well, now at least that I've decided that, this will be easier to go through and actually put them in, as long as the webbing cooperates. There we go. And then, yes, the other side, it'll get clipped to it. And then we'll take the stiletto when we're sewing it and use it, because that helps it push through. Because, like, yes, it's a Juki, yes, it's an industrial, but it's still like 2 layers of fabric and 2 layers of interfacing and 2 layers of webbing so sometimes it fights. It's just like, and no. These are horrendous working conditions. And then we have a negotiation about how I should be using the stiletto. Okay, we're good. Get in there. Clippy, clippy. Okay, that webbing is clipped in, and then this gets popped on top, and I even up the canvas as close as I can get it, so that that line is a nice line with how there's still going to be a little bit of variance, but with how diligent I was cutting this, I'm hoping that there isn't too much variation in like in how it ends up holding up. Okay. I have lost the spot to actually. Stilettos are amazing, and they're not a tool that I knew about until I started watching those sewing tutorials from Okla Roots. And then I was like, this is one of the best tools to add to my like workspace for sure. So good. All right. Whatever. Okay. We're actually going to do it so that these just stay on top of each other. So I'm going to line up the canvas now. I'm going to have to do it again anyway, so it's not going to be like a super good lineup. Now, where is the ruler? What? Did I set it down in my lap? Oh, okay, that's not a good spot for it. Okay. Yeah, I'm totally breaking the rule. We're going to be working on this tomorrow too, because it is 11:45. So I think with how Dallas is home, we have an early morning tomorrow, but not insanely. So I'm feeling the pressure. So I think I'll probably be on until about 1 a.m., which is another like hour and a quarter. Because I will not be able to be on that late tomorrow night. So with the training run on Friday, I gotta be well rested at least one night. Okay, there we go. There's one. And 2. So it's 11:46, and we're working on the second bag. So we'll see how long this actually takes to clip in to the individual bags. It's probably both longer and shorter than I've anticipated. Okay. go. And I'll flippy this, and we'll get the canvas lined up. Oh, and it needs to be scooted. There we go. Okay. Okay, so basically everything gets lined up, and I just transfer the clip I'm using for the webbing right now. And then, good. Okay. Ha ha ha. Where'd your other piece go? Wait. I clipped that in thinking it was... Okay, so what do we have? Black with gunmetal? Okay. I clipped that into the laundry one, and I was thinking that it was the wall cats, but it's fine because it was the same webbing. Alrighty. Disaster averted. Where's the other piece of the corgi? There's the other piece of the corgi. We want corgis. We want corgis. Corgis, corgis, corgis. Okay, so the laundry cats are the ones that have been done. Potato cats are done. They're getting very hot on the laptop, so I don't want to put them anywhere because it's going to be like, where did they go? Oh, I'll put them in the snap. In the snap. They're not snaps. The clip box. These things that I'm clipping the webbing with. So that'll be fine because I will be working actively with that box here in the next little bit. Bah. Ding. Yeah, these corgis are adorable. Very directional print, so I'm glad it works for the Kato. I like how it's a medium print too, so it's not like a huge format scale, but it's also not like tiny. So each corgi is probably about an inch tall. 2.5 centimeters-ish. Okay. 1. And then go over to the other side. It's the exact same thing. And haha, there we go. Okay. Now you can actually see what I'm working on both sides. Not that it's any different from the other side, but you know what? That's okay. It's supposed to be desk view. Out here. So now we line up the canvas. Doesn't make for a bulky seam, a little bit, but everything deals with it, it's fine. Okay, and this side, all good. Clip, and then I'm putting these right here. Okay, Shibas, sheeps. Go. I'm gonna get this really nice like navy and bronze combo. Snap it in. Go. Okay. I think I'd know better than to put it under the fabric, but apparently not tonight. Line it up, pop it in. So navy may seem like an odd choice for a dusty rose background, but it's actually because a lot of the detailing on the fabric is navy. And it also is like a nice through line of a colorway in the rest of the colorways of this print they all have the navy, so they all get navy. Like in the large box bags, it was the navy zipper. In the it'll be the same in the small box bags, and then in this, obviously, they all get navy webbing, and they're all getting this bronze D-ring tab because it's got such a like vintage retro feel to it. So I'm pretty sure the signs and stuff like that, they look like they're based on probably Showa era signage, like late Showa. So trying to keep everything consistent because last time we ended up with a bunch of D-rings that were installed crooked across from each other, which it's like, oh my goodness gracious. Okay, that is not right yet. So this. There we go. That's better. Okay, so 3 to 4 minutes per bag. Well, so 3 to 4 minutes per bag. It's 3 minutes per bag, and we've got, say, 50 bags to do. It's 100, so we still got like 2.5 hours of work. Just to get the D-rings clipped in. Okay. I guess choose a beverage of your choice and buckle in. I'm not doing 2.5 hours worth of work tonight. We'll get as much done as we can. I do think we might just end up going in and clipping all of these in. And then tomorrow's just going to be a sew as fast as I can, as many as I can, and smash them together. And then I will probably still work on Friday night as late as I can. It's just it can't be too late, I guess. I say as I'm like fading already. Oh, we got this. I got it. Okay, that is lined up on that side. And then we're lined up on this side. Good? Good. Okay, sweet. Make sure I've got all the layers before I like do the flipping. Because not having all the layers is not fun. I'm going to work till 1, and I start yawning at midnight. Excellent. Exactly what needs to happen. Alright, so this fun cat with fruit print has the rainbow D-rings, because why not? It suits. Okay, well that went 2 different directions. I guess it still works. But the canvas got top stitched down, but the exterior fabric flipped up. Wild. Alright, well. I have not had that happen before. It will still get stitched down in the seams, so it's not a big deal, but that's just funny. Here's the thing. Pin and clips can still hurt. They just don't draw blood anymore, thankfully. Well, they could draw blood. But it's not like pins that are constantly drawing blood. That is going to be very crooked if I don't fix it now. There we go. Everything's lined up. Everything's lined up. We're good. Sweet. Okay. Lined up. Good. Now the tuxedo cat's on pink. Thread florals. It's got a nice black on black with that matte black D-ring. Even up the webbing. There we go. Shimmy this up where it needs to go. There we go. No. Oh my goodness. Okay. At least it wasn't too far away. Okay. It's gonna go in here like that. Gotta go up and sneak up on it. This one is adorable. Alright, good call on getting these ones rolling. I'm still debating if I should like sew them together and then move on to like the next set, which I think might be the smarter idea. But I also don't want to switch tasks. So I'm like, can't decide. Actually, I don't want to get into an argument with the sewing machine this late at night, so I think we'll just keep clipping. And then I'll come downstairs and do sewing. Well, obviously, I'll get the sewing done tomorrow. And actually, we might have a hope of getting everything clipped tonight. Hope. Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, that too. And the sewing machine totally knows it. I have 3 predators in the house. 2 cats and a sewing machine. This is like fairly mindless work right now, so that's also kind of nice. Because it's just like, Alright, and now you take the nice little clip and, you know, clip the webbing into where you need to go for your marking that's on your ruler, already thought out. If the webbing didn't fight quite so much, it would be even easier. Okay. I was going to start clipping the top, the next layer too. It's like, nope, webbing first. Oh my goodness. Okay. Man, I love these cats. I don't know what it is about this print, but they like, yeah. Ooh, that's a good idea. Now I'm like, do I have anything like that here? I do. I have washi tape right behind me. Or some sort of, I've got tapes behind me. 1 second. Yeah, because that would, we're cranking along pretty good, but that would probably actually speed me up even more. Now the question is, I've got duct tape. Do I have a tape that I don't need scissors to get up for? And that doesn't knock the cat off of the desk. I do. Ooh, I've even got special tape. Let's use some of the tape Kato gave me. Just an eensy bit. Okay, so it needs to butt up there, because that is the line that I want it to be on. So the tape needs to be above the line. That shouldn't have taken as much thought as it did. But alright, here we are. Okay, and I never understand how straight things get so crooked so easily. Again. Yeah, that should work. If I need to put another layer on, we'll do it afterwards. That should work. Cool, sweet idea. I like it. Yeah, and then it can be even more mindless. Yes, I love mindless. Yeah, nice, thank you. And this is when the online community is like so good. So many different experiences, and they all can like, they can help. Apparently it's not enough tape though. Like, I will work once, but never again. I'll work on the other side apparently. Alright, so I'll put another layer of tape on in a second. But it is also just even a nice visual cue for where it's supposed to be versus like, just like, I need to see these tiny little yellow ticks and where they go. Sweet, that was way faster. My God. And then I can, yeah. And then it's just like, match the canvas by feel. Okay. Good. Good. Last clip here. And onto the cart with you. Okay, one more layer of tape on the back because apparently it's too flat. Just, yeah, it's like, nope, I'm not gonna do that. Which is wild because it's like, it's fine on the other side. Okay. Now the very delicate operation of making sure it's at least mostly straight. There we go. Oh, what the heck? I know your adhesive isn't insane, but that's the appeal of you, your masking tape. Okay. One more layer. If that's not enough, I don't know what would be. There. Success. The only problem with that is that it's getting caught on the little edge of interfacing. There we go. Now we're good. Other direction. I tend to do, haven't been using them as much lately, but I tend to do templates out of like poster board. It's usually what I do. I found when I was first starting, I had a really hard time of remembering where I was supposed to put the zipper. So like I was always like, is it supposed to be the shorter edge of the large box bag or the longer edge of the box bag? And so what I actually did is I drew out the template and then I drew which edge the zipper went on, mostly so that when it was a directional pattern I would know. And so yeah, so I do have a lot of like paper templates and stuff like that because yes, it's just easier. But this is genius because it's just like, this is something that would be hard to template or really mark for. It is, however, why I do have masking tape on the cutting board, because I do the 6-inch cut down for these, and then I do the 3-inch cut down for these, for the D-ring tabs, and having the masking tape on the cutting board is the nice just little shortcut. Alright, 2 more animals. And then we'll move on to the next stack of wherever we are. I don't know what's next. Who knows? Not even I know what's next. Okay. So with these, just the cats, it's a nice like warm brown webbing and the matte black D-rings to kind of pull out the different colors of the cats. Nice easygoing bag or easygoing print. Lots of neutrals. Actually, I had one of these at the Popup for Ancient Arts when they did the grand opening or anniversary celebration. And a woman got it, and then she also bought a bunch of the cat yarn to match it. It was super cool. It was so cool to see together. She had like the orange and brown and like all of that. Because I saw her with the bag and I'm like, or the yarn, and I'm like, I have the perfect bag for you. Voila. Here you go. If that's not a match made, I don't know what is. Alright, so those sides match up. This side is a little bit large, but we can trim that down afterwards. That's fine. Okay, clip. Needs to be aligned. There we go. I still don't like you if you know too much sometimes. Yeah, as a kid, my focus was definitely into like Girl Guides, but not like the camping side of it. So I did a lot of leadership work actually, which has honestly served me well. It kind of like melded into my skill set that I already had when I was like younger. So a lot of like planning and leading and organizing stuff for like camps and stuff like that. Oh, that's so good. This is gonna be such a fun bag. But my dad was a millwright, so that's a little bit harder to like have a home education about. A wood chip. That is an expression I have not heard before. Okay, clipped and... Okay, 10 bags down. I need to access the next set. Okay, let's just get all of you so I know what the F I'm dealing with. Oh. No, a Girl Guide, so I did a lot of the organization of like events and things to do with camps and stuff like that. And like, yeah, I thought you were referring, it was some sort of referral to the like fire time for Girl Guides. And I was highly confused. That's why I was like, what? That might have been my mic too. It just didn't pick everything up. I have no clue. Let's find out. Now that I'm like actually have them all so they're on top, and we will pull everything here. Alright, so we'll start with the strawberries. 12:16. I have 3:01:10, we're gonna say. So let's find out. This is what we were averaging about 3 minutes last time. We'll see. I can already just tell you that that's faster. I can feel it. Man. I might have actually cut myself a template for this, but you know what? Finding it. Yeah, I think that was honestly my favorite thing. We had, so there was a big, one of the biggest or highest accolades kind of thing that you could work towards was called the Canada Cord. Yeah, so you had all the experience that like Girl Guides gives you. camping and cooking in the bush and everything. I don't know. I like collecting. Remember, I run for bling and beer. You totally could collect those badges. Come on. A minute and a half. So the Canada cord is like something that you could work with as. So yeah, that cut that in half. Good Lord, that's insane. Thank you. The Canada cord was an accolade that you could work towards. That was like basically it. I wouldn't call it like a certification, but it meant that like you completed a certain set of very rigorous kind of tasks that you got set in your final year as a Pathfinder, or like throughout the 3 years that you're a Pathfinder, and you had to have done certain things when you're also a Girl Guide to set yourself up to do the Canada Cord as a Pathfinder as well. So it's just kind of like a culmination of efforts over like 6 years of your life, and it was also like a culmination of the efforts of nearly half your lifespan at that point. So it was just really cool. And then I promptly finished. Oh, so it's Canada Cord. It's something that like if I continued with Girl Guides and was at like basically official Girl Guide events, or camps or anything like that, you wear it as like just showing that you completed these tasks, or like, and like were granted this Canada Cord. I don't know, it was just really cool. I liked it. I liked the challenge of it. Again, the bling, a very measurable achievement, or an indicator of that measurable achievement, I think was the big thing. Which is definitely translated to today. I am totally what would be classified as a product knitter. I don't mind the process of doing the thing, but I like having the end thing to show for the effort. I want the sweater at the end. I'm not in it, just in it. There we go. Same as sewing, to be honest. Now, obviously, that's partly because it's the job, but it's definitely just my personality as well. I'll have to track it down. I can show it off later. But it's on my camp blanket in the storage unit, or not storage unit, but in the storage closet place. I almost call it a storage shed. I'm like, it's not a storage shed, it's a storage room. There we go. That's the words for it. The name for it, the nouns. But yeah, we did that, and then most of the girls quit because they were too cool for it. And it's just like, oh, the Pathfinders fizzled out pretty quick. And you could do an independent thing, but honestly, at the same time, I was getting too busy with high school to continue, unfortunately. There. Got it. If I stop turning it around, it'll also be faster. Come on. You know you wanna. There we go. And then we'll try and apparently sneak up on you from a different direction, maybe. There we go. Okay. Cool. We're lined up. Excellent. Next. The Retro Cafe. Yeah. Yeah. Stay there. actually the saddest thing about it was that, so I did Pathfinders, and then like every 4 years or so, there's a world camp, it's called. So you get like all these different Girl Guides and all different levels, basically. I think it's Girl Guides and up. And they come together and you have like a world camp. So, and that means like it could be anywhere in the world, basically, that there are Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. I can't remember where it was, but it was like they held it once, and then they held it like the year after I was completed Pathfinders. But I did hear actually the groups here, because of course that's where the cookie sales go a lot towards and stuff like that. The Girl Guides here actually just did a big trip to Europe somewhere, so probably a world camp as well. So that's really cool to hear that it's still happening. Yeah. Like a mini exchange. Actually, there was a girl that came over. She was a high school exchange student, but she was the Finnish equivalent of the Girl Guides. So that was really cool to meet her and like have her involved with our Pathfinder group for. Actually, I think she was involved with the Pathfinder group for nearly the full year. She was like, because she was a high school exchange student through the Rotary Club. So it was really cool to have her like involved with the Pathfinders for that time period. I just remembered that. That's a very random memory to suddenly have pop up. It was also like the most random location to be on exchange because it's Invermere, British Columbia. So that's like 3.5 hours southwest of where I am currently. Gorgeous, absolutely spectacular valley, but not a lot of amenities. It was definitely one of those places, if you are not an outdoors person, you're not going to enjoy it necessarily. Or it will make you an outdoor person. But like hot springs and mountains and all of that. Less brutal winters than here. They're generally a little bit warmer than they are in southern Alberta and definitely northern Alberta. Alright, I really like the pink on this one. It's a good pink, and it's paired really well with that yellow too. It's just like a nice satisfying pattern and coloration. Yeep. Stay there. There we go. Okay. Line these up, line that up. Those sides are not even. So that means that the canvas is probably not even. There we go. Could it use more clips? Yes. Are we? No. No. Oh no. I guess it's gonna need to be like chunked up into smaller monologues. That is the benefit to being able to speak my monologue, is I don't have to worry about like what the character limit is on something. It might be tiring for everyone else, but I'm keeping myself entertained at least. Oh boy. Okay. Now that I'm seeing this together, I don't know if I like the navy version of this or the aqua version of this better. But it's like little bunnies with sakura, pink sakura and purple sakura, and on an aqua background with like pond swirls. That's probably the best description. It's like petals falling onto the pond, making the like ripples There we go. Or smoke swirls. I can't decide, actually, if it's water or smoke. Whatever. It looks amazing. And if it looks amazing, does it really matter? No. It's wild that it wouldn't give you like a character limit before it broke the box. Tech. Amazing when it works. Annoying when it doesn't. Okay. Canvas matched. We're going to go up here. Like that. Then we're going to go around here. Make sure it's like that. No! I honestly have been using the dictation on my phone more recently, mostly because it's just like, it's easier sometimes with the kids if they're not being too loud and my hands are busy, basically. Although then it's like insane mistranslations of whatever you've dictated to it. It's nuts. Yeah, so you can like zoom in on them and stuff like that. Zip. Sweet. Okay. Like I tried to put that down like I was still measuring with it. Like we don't have this bright pink mark on it. Apparently my brain has slowed down quite a bit for the night. Oh well. No thinking, just clipping and talking. So if there's something stupid that comes out of my mouth, we're just going to blame it on the fact that it's now past midnight. Although this used to be like my prime working time. My like happiest schedule is like working till about midnight and then sleeping until about like 8 or 9. But school doesn't work that way, so I've had a rapid readjustment. It's one of the big shifts I've noticed since I was like in the last few years after I turned 30 was it's like, oh, staying up until like 2 or 3 in the morning actually gives me basically a hangover for the next like 3 days. A lack of sleep hangover. Okay, well, for how much of a mess up that I figured out at the beginning with those bags not being finished, and then for having to clip all the pocket threads, we're not doing bad. And we do have a set of interiors done as well, so that's good. Once we actually get the rest of these clipped, I think we're going to be good. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. I just looked at the pile of stuff here, though, and I'm like, ooh, maybe not. Who knows? I need the budgies. Budgies, budgies, budgies. Behave. Touched it and it moved. Sounds like a complaint that one of my kids would have. They touched me. Yes, they're going to touch you. You're staying in a like side-by-side dual stroller. I'm sorry, but there's not much room in that. Jeez. Alright, so these fans are turning out, like, I was talking about this earlier, and I knew these fans, actually, well, no, blech. Let's back that up. These fans on the black are, like, extremely elegant in the large box bag, and I like them better on the black in the large box bag, but honestly, I like them better here on the white in the Kato, and I cannot exactly say why, but I think it might be related to how the black frame picks up the black in the fans and the detailing in the fans. I don't know, there's just something about it. And like, I like it in the large box bag, but this Kato is turning out like stunning. Wrong way for the ruler. Short end down. And in, on. I'm going to move this back down here so that's not sitting on my lap because I just dropped webbing. Okay. Good. Try not to knock into the ring light. I'm going to go down here and there. Line up the canvas best we can, obviously. Again, fabric still has a mind of its own. And it's probably going to do a shimmy shake when we actually go to sew it. Alright, the Sailor Moon-esque one. It's not actually Sailor Moon, but the colors and the like just general composition of it remind me of Sailor Moon every time I look at it. That's why I bought it in Japan. This one I know specifically is from the 4th floor of the shop I visit in Tokyo. Because they always have like a bin of rolls at the end of the shelf. And it came out of that bin of rolls because I was like, I have to have that one. So super nice bright pinks and blues and yellow and like gold orange, not like orange, but super gorgeous. And I love the sakura on here too. It's very illustrated style. And it's also a dobby, so it's got that slubby warp and weft, so that really interesting texture. Come on, cooperate. There we go. Okay, gonna get the canvas lined up. Shimmy, shimmy. On to the next one, which is the purple and blue floral. I don't know why, but I always think very Scandinavian with this one. It's getting a bright blue webbing along with a rainbow D-ring because these D-rings pick up that, they've got like green and blue and purpley, pink. They're actually almost a perfect match for this pattern specifically. There it goes. And this one on this side. And now line up the canvas. I don't know why the Mario song keeps like just popping out of my mouth. I'm like, no. It's not even like one of my favorite video games. I don't mind Mario, but I am definitely, I don't know. I don't really qualify myself as a gamer, but when I do play games, I like Kingdom Hearts. And Spyro is actually one of the ones I'm playing right now. Because they reissued it with like way better graphics than when I was a kid, and holy, if you compare the two like side by side, even in photos, it's insane the jump in quality that it had. So, and I'm not playing through that one very fast. I'm actually kind of stuck where I am right now. I need to figure out how to get to like the person that'll take me to the next land, and I'm like, damn it, I can't remember how to get to them. I'll figure it out eventually, or I'll look it up. But yeah. Although I'm doing the kids like to watch Princess and Knight stories right now. So Kingdom Hearts is actually perfect because you play the knight. Although they like Spyro too because it's a purple dragon. And who doesn't like a purple dragon? Really. So. Although now that's like warmed up outside, I think the game playing time will be significantly pared down for a little bit. Not like there's much of it right now anyway. But, yeah. Okay, this pile of drawstrings does look very manageable. The pile of outers on the cart does not look very manageable, so I don't know which is going to win. Alright, a different version of that florals in pink and orange. So this is like the blue and purple florals that I just did, but pink and orange with blue highlights. Again, that very kind of like Scandinavian design, or Scandinavian inspired. It's getting a sand colored webbing with a bronze D-ring again, because that's what matches the background. I didn't want, it's such a bright print, I didn't want anything kind of standing out in contrast to it. So typically what I'm doing when I'm choosing colors for like zippers and these webbing and stuff like that is I'm either trying to complement a color that is currently in the bag. So if I had an orange webbing, I'd actually probably have gone with the orange webbing because of the orange florals. Probably could have also gone with pink, but in this case, I don't think having a contrasting webbing would have added to the bag. It might have even like detracted from the bag. So that's one of the things I weigh when I'm choosing zippers, especially, is if the bag can carry it basically, or if it's going to be competing with the print too much. like in the case of if I was sewing this into a large box bag, I think I would probably go with a bright pink, like hot pink zipper to pull out the pink and the florals. But I could have just as easily go with a sand zipper. I don't think there is actually a large box bag in this, but who knows? There's a few things that got left behind in the rush to get ready for Shindig. So, and then the pop-up with Ancient Arts. Because we still have a few large box bags that I didn't finish because I got to swap the interfacing on the handles. Just 4 or 5. It was... Considering that we had over 100, I'm not overly concerned right now. I'll be concerned before Knit City, depending on how the next few months go. When is Knit City? Knit City is... Oh, I just realized that. Okay, the webbing for these ones will be underneath. What am I? I'm looking for butterflies. But butterflies are going to be underneath, so we're going to just pop this over because the webbing is underneath. That's right. The webbing is underneath, the same as the turtles. And I think the bunnies too. So, like the bunny... Oh, no, it's here. Sweet. So we'll do that one at least. Okay. And then are the turtles here? Turtles are here. Good. And are the butterflies here? Are they part of this chain of other ones? No, so far. Where'd the butterflies go? Oh, the butterflies dropped. That's right. They're behind the machine. Okay. Bunnies, turtles, butterflies. Butterflies are right here. Oh my goodness. Okay, I gotta go under the sewing machine. 1 second. If I can bend that far right now, we'll see. And I found another clip. Because, of course, there would be another clip under there. Okay. Sweet. Well, we've got the next 3 ready then. There's a scrap there, and I'm not 100% sure why. Okay, so what's on top right now? Turtles are on top, so we'll start with turtles, because turtles. I don't know. Am I actually responsible for what I say after midnight? Or am I like a gremlin and I'm not supposed to be talking after midnight? I don't know. Okay. Turtles. Get some of that thread off. Definitely need to bring, I need to bring a lint roller anyway. For the deflinning of the bags. Turtles. Still really like that print. Not a turtle person, but there's just, again, something about this one that's like super fun. And so it's like one of those ones where you don't need to be a turtle person, you can just enjoy it. Because it is adorable. And very much not lined up at the top. Lovely. Damn it. Okay, that's going to probably need a trim down. Let's see how far we are off all the way around. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll just do that then, I guess. Well, if I haven't changed the future there, then we're good. The earring tabs still look even. That's what matters. Okay, butterflies are next. Butterflies. Oh, I should teach them the word for butterflies next because I love butterflies. Not the English word for butterflies, the Japanese word for butterflies. The kids, we've been doing like a very rapid fire kind of just while we're eating breakfast vocab. And they're actually picking it up now. It's like, yes. So exciting. I've got a couple more years until they can start like Japanese lessons, but I am very excited for them to do that as well. It'll help my Japanese because I'm going to have to help them. So, you know, that's a selfish little side benefit to it all. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Okay. Line up the canvas. Line up the sides. There we go. Not quite. Shimmy. Actually, you are in the future, but at least you're no longer a day ahead. Alright. Bunnies. Oh. Okay, never mind. The navy is my favorite of the two. I really do like the aqua as well, but this navy just is such a good contrast to it. So there's like little white bunnies hopping around in between sakura. Sakura are pink and purple. And then the background is like a navy with like smoke swirls. I can't decide if they're like smoke swirls or like ripples. The way they're drawn, I'm going to call it smoke swirls. Kind of in a like lighter navy almost. And then it's all like got highlights with like the shimmery gold that Japan does so well. So the florals are outlined in gold, and then the bunnies are outlined in gold. They have little red eyes. I'm not 100% sure why, but they do. And there's like a bunch of little gold sakura as well throughout the pattern. And the bunnies are like not small, but they're not large, and then the floral portion of it is larger. Jump. Okay, bunnies. Okay, I am not done, but I do think I probably should be somewhat responsible and call it at 1 as it is. So that's another 10 minutes. We will call it then, and I will do a count to see where we are at. And what I think I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Well, I know I'm going to be sewing tomorrow, but like if we'll be adding more bags to this number or not, I don't know. Probably. I'll probably be absolutely insane and just do it. Whatever. I can glue labels on Friday when I hang out with people. As long as I get the branded tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm like, I don't feel super stressed about it now. Finding the bags that weren't finished was stressful, but like where we're at right now, just chugging along with this stuff. I'm not stressed about what we'll get done. We'll get done when we get done. So that's at least a nice mental shift at this point. Bunny movie that made you cry. That's no good. I always had an issue with bunnies because I was like allergic as a kid. I am no longer allergic, but I can't tell if that was because I was actually allergic to bunnies or basically allergic to my parents. I have no contact with my parents. That was a terrible joke. But as soon as I stopped talking to my parents, my eczema disappeared. It's gone. And I had one episode when I was pregnant with our second. And I'm like, well, if there's any time I was going to get a, like, outbreak of eczema, it would be while I was pregnant during a pandemic with a second child. So I should go love on some bunnies and see if I was actually, like, if I'm actually allergic or not. I don't think I am, to be honest. All I can think of with the little red eyes on those bunnies, I like them, but the one thing I like as soon as I see them, every time that pops in, is Banicula. Which I thought for the longest time was almost like a fever dream. And then I stumbled across those books in the library one day. And I was like, okay, I didn't make this up in my brain. What do you know? Oh yeah, okay, this is the last one. And then we'll do a count and I will plot a game plan tomorrow. I'm not going to worry about it tonight. I need to go to bed. I feel like everyone's probably stressed out by their parents on some level. But, yeah. I was horrified and impressed by how fast it cleared up after I stopped talking to them. The thing about it was what was kind of the deciding factor, I'd been talking about it for a while, and Dallas was like, no, you should stay in contact with them. I'm like, okay, we'll keep trying. We went on vacation with them, and I ended up with like an eczema outbreak while we were on vacation with them, which it was Florida. It should never happen in the humidity. And then he finally heard some of the things that, like, it's hard to explain when it's like just constant jabs and stuff like that. It just happens. But anyway, yeah, I cut contact with them about 2 weeks later, and it cleared up. All gone. And like I said, I haven't had one until I was pregnant, which, yeah, like I said, that would make sense. Okay, we are done clipping, because otherwise I'm going to fall asleep at the desk even working. We're going to do a quick count and see what we have left. Looking at what we have left, I will probably wrap up tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing. Or I might choose out some of my favorites. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. That means that we've only actually processed 25 tonight. Ooh, okay, so, but that was a lot of sewing still due. Alright, we're going to go in and in the morning, when I come down to the sewing machine, I'm going to finish what I currently have. And then we'll go in and we'll see if I can add more to it. That's what we'll do. Except I probably am going to do the strawberries because I really want the strawberry bags. So let's pick those out. Strawberries. And the wisteria. Yes, I'm playing favorites, but whatever, they're my bags. Until I sell them to you. Yeah, I'm going to go cuddle. I'm going to go to bed. Well, thank you for joining me on this, like, again, the chaotic monologue, whatever the hell this is now. Oh, the Obi ones are going to be after Peace. They aren't even... No, they're after Peace. Because I have a Kimono and Obi market May 19th. So I don't have to worry about it until then. We'll be doing more Obi and Kimono and every, like, accessories and everything like that. Once I get the sewing studio tidied up on Wednesday. So they're coming. Don't worry. We're still waiting on them. We're just doing the cotton and cotton linen blends right now. So yeah, thanks for joining me. I will be back on at some point tomorrow. Obviously hit the subscribe button or the bell, and that'll tell you specifically when I'm online. Or if you follow me on Instagram, I always post a link there as well. So thanks so much.